Now, before you repair your air condition, you need to have a tools uh, for you to use in this repair. So without these tools, so I will show you uh, the picture of the tools here that you need to use when you repair an air condition. So here, this is what we call gauge manifold set. So you have the gauge for, so this is the compound gauge, and this is the uh, pressure gauge. So you have to measure the pressure, the discharge pressure, by the use of the pressure gauge, and you are measuring also the suction pressure by using this compound gauge. The compound gauge meaning you can use both uh, discharge pressure and suction pressure. And this is the bulb for the suction pressure, and this is the bulb for the discharge pressure. And you have here the sight glass. You can monitor the refrigerant when you are charging. So this is gauge manifold set. Next, we have here the pail and the bucket, so filled with water. So later on, I will show you where to use this. This is used for uh, pressure testing of evaporator. So later on, I will uh, show you how to do that. So these are the tools that you need to use when you are repairing the air condition. So these are basic tools. So I have here the vacuum pump. So actually this is a improvised vacuum pump. So I took this one from my old refrigerator. So my old refrigerator has not been used for a long time. So if I buy vacuum pump, so it costs around 12,000. So there is a China made which is 4,000, but uh, it is a waste of money if I buy, because I have this compressor. So this compressor you can use for pressure testing of the system, air conditioning system, and you can use also for vacuum. So before charging the refrigerant, you vacuum the system uh, so that there will be no air uh, inside the system. So air is not advisable inside the air conditioning system because it can cause corrosion. So we have also here map gas. So this is a breezing torch. So when you are soldering the copper tubing, you use this map gas. So acetylene is better, but since this is only a household repair, so I don't need to buy acetylene. So this is I can use this one. Although some of the aircon technician, they are using this one during installing of air condition. So we have also here the soap bubbles. So I can spray in uh, different fittings of the air condition, and as well as the copper tubing, the evaporator uh, part, and the uh, condenser part. the copper tubing, so the coil. So I spray to detect the leak. So we have also here the clamp meter. So clamp meter is you can measure the the load of your compressor by monitoring the or by reading the current. So later on I will show you how to do that. So it is this is the best way to monitor the load of your compressor, the plummeter. So the current in every wire. So there are three wire in three compressor. I don't know in a compressor. So the supply to the compressor. So you can use that this plummeter to monitor the current. So this is the brass manifold gauge set. So it is inside. So this is the carton. So we have here also the uh, flaring tool. So this is flaring tool. So this is to flare the end of the copper tube wherein you connect the flare nut and the union fittings. So you flare. So meaning you expand the end of the copper tube to fit into the coupling, which is the union coupling. We have also here the tube cutter. So this is important, the tube cutter. You cut the tube uniformly, cut the tube because if you just hacksaw the copper tube, it is it's not a uniform cut. It can cause leaking. So if the tube cutter is good for cutting the copper tube for air conditioning. So we have also here the fitting, the adapter for R32 system. So without this, you cannot connect this uh, hoses. So we have also here the key to tight the fittings. So if there is a small leak in the fittings, you have to tight with the key, the needle. And this one is your gauge manifold set. So wherein you can use this one in charging refrigerant to the system. So there is the gauge to monitor the pressure, discharge pressure, and suction pressure, and the hose is connected to the refrigerant cylinder and to the air condition. So we have here the fittings. Later on, I will show you where to use these fittings to cover both end of uh, the high side and low side. So high side is uh, the discharge side, and the low side is the suction side. So later on, this is used for pressure testing. We have also here the uh, copper bracing rod. So to weld the connection of the copper tubing. And of course, we have the common tools, plier, screwdriver, we have the knife cutter, and we have the adjustable wrench, gloves, and you need also to use the goggles or goggles to protect your eyes. And we have there is gloves also. It is advisable to use gloves when you are working, especially with chemicals. And we have caliper. So caliper, you have to measure the. Uh, so why I use this? I measure outside diameter of the copper tube because I bought the fittings. So that is important that you know the size of your copper tube and your fittings. So also must use face mask. That is important because to avoid inhaling of the refrigerant. So in case there is leak. So so we have here the map gas tank, and we have the uh, bracing rod, silver bracing rod. So we have the soap bubbles. So inside is soap with water, and you spray to the fittings to detect leaks. So those tools uh, are needed for the repair of your air condition. By the way, this compressor uh, are used both vacuum both vacuuming the system, and also pressure test the system. This uh, compressor. So this is a substitute of instead of you are using nitrogen, which is expensive. So you can pressure test with air, and you can vacuum also by the use of this compressor. So this is the compressor of my old refrigerator, which I did not use for a long time. So instead of buying a vacuum pump, so I use this one as a vacuum pump and as a compressor to pressure test the system of air condition system. So this is the one. So this is the specification of my old refrigerator. So I did not use for a long time. So I remove the compressor. So this one, the wirings I remove. So uh, I cut here and weld with fittings. So both uh, suction side and discharge side, or the low side and the high side. So these are fittings. So in a system of the uh, R32 air condition, so the discharge side is 1/4 1/4 inch, and the suction side is the 3/8. So you needed to have to buy these fittings. So this one here and this one, and the flare nut. So this is used for pressure testing of the evaporator. So we have here the 1/4 flare nut and the 3/8. So it is around 100 or 98. So this is all around. But if you buy this individual, so it's around a little bit expensive. Yeah. So 25 pesos each, 35 and 25, something like that. So union fittings. So you need 1/4 and inch. So these fittings are used to connect both ends of the evaporator so that you can pressure test. So you have to put blind here, the cap without hole, so that you can uh, connect with the no the other one without hole, and the other one you have to connect with the air supply to pressure test the system, to pressure test the evaporator evaporator coil. So this is the specification of my one of my air condition. So air conditioner outdoor condensing unit. So we have here the uh, Pmax, so pressure maximum, so maximum operating pressure MOP. So in the system, we have 41.7 bar or 4.17 megapascal. So in monitoring the maximum current, so maximum current is 8.0 amperes. So this is the use of monitoring the load of the compressor. You're not allowed to uh, charge a lot of refrigerant uh, uh, to avoid the maximum current exceeded. But anyway, as far as I observed, the system will not anymore accept refrigerant if it is already full. So even if you charge a lot of refrigerant, you cannot charge because the system will not accept anymore. So here it's only 0.7 uh, kilogram. So you can only charge 0.7 kilogram refrigerant to the system. I have one 2 horsepower air condition also. It is 1.0 kilogram. So this one is a 1.5 horsepower uh, aircon air condition unit. So uh, this is the specification.